Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we are going to do an updated character guide on my girl Beatrix. Now, I know I already have a Force character guide on her, and I normally don't do like a character guide when a character just gets like maybe a new BT or just like upgrades, but Beatrix is coming 3 months early, so I think people are going to be interested to see like what her damage and her numbers look like. So I just want to redo the whole character guide. She's going to be looking very good. So her new weapon is the BT, which is really good. We'll talk about that. So Beatrix, for those of you unfamiliar, she's basically like a battery / healing tank who has off-turn damage, and the off-turn damage ignores defense and dispels. Like, she's very good. She also does carry lightning elemental damage, so she can definitely get locked out of stuff, but for the most part, man, Beatrix is going to be looking really good. I do have to throw out a disclaimer as well. When we actually do the showcase, my Beatrix is going to be looking a little bit spicier than most Beatrixes, because red is my crystal room. So she's going to have way better stats than a normal Beatrix. So just keep that in mind. That being said, it's not going to skew it to the point where like she's a completely different character. I would say if you like what you see in my video, even if you're not a red crystal user, definitely go for her. She's going to be very good. So in this video, let's go ahead. We're going to look at her calls, her artifacts, and spheres to start. And then we're going to go into the showcase. So we are going to start with the calls. Now, Beatrix's calls, I think they are solid. So the first thing to keep in mind is when she comes in, she is going to put the Rose Petals debuff down. And then there's also a buff called Noble Loyalty, a defense up, and an HP regen up that will happen for the party, which is all pretty decent, right? Now, the Rose Petals isn't nearly as good on the call as it is like if you're actually running her in the party. Rose Petals is just going to do like a sap and an attack down. But to get the other good effects of it, like Beatrix has to be on the field. And as a call, she's not going to be on the field. So it's going to be a little bit mitigated there, right? But you do get Noble Loyalty. And so if a character who has Noble Loyalty is attacked, you do get the Rose Petal follow-up. So you get a little bit of the follow-up from the call, but not as much as if Beatrix was actually on the team, right? The 15 is Saint Cloth. This is going to be a nice little battery you can use. It's going to put a defense up and an HP regen, but nothing too crazy on that. The LD is solid because it removes all enemy buffs. So it is a Dispel call. So Dispel calls are very good, especially if you're not carrying a Dispeller on the team. There are some bosses that have very toxic buffs that you like need to get rid of. So this could be a call you could use for that. And then this will also reapply the Rose Petals debuff. Okay, on top of like doing damage. But overall, her call isn't something you should summon for just for the call. But I do think Beatrix is worth summoning for the character, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at her. For her artifacts, you want to go Attack 108 and Continent's Finest Boost 2-star. So this is going to focus on just giving her a lot of attack. And then she actually gets a little bit of defense from this as well. I do think you could make an argument for Attack 108 Max Brave 330, because Max Brave is a nice stat to get on her as well. So you could go any combination of that. But I went the full attack route here. Okay. And then we're going to go to the spheres. And I think I am running a fairly best in slot sphere set on her, right? So for the A slot, you want attack or brave damage or both, or like an attack max brave one. I did decide to do a magic attack up because she is definitely like a fairly offensive character, and magic attack is a very strong stat for her. So I did go ahead and I went and did this Alphanod one. Or is it Alisei? I think this is Alisei. Sorry, this might be Alisei. They're twins. I get them confused. But yeah, actually this is Alisei, because Alisei uses the sword. Alphanod uses the books or whatever. So yeah, this is Alisei. So this is magic attack up for 6 turns when dealing a crit, which I really like. I would say the A slot is definitely a lot more flexible, right? You could do something like a Sephiroth, which would be an attack max brave. She is going to have weakness damage, so you could do like Rydia. Like Rydia would be really nice there as well. So A slot is always very flexible. On the B slot, I like Gabranth or Celis here, but I definitely favor Celis. Celis is a brave gain sphere, which is going to make her more offensive, and I think it's going to help her off-turn damage as well. So I definitely think Celis is probably the best one to do here. That's what I opted to go for. You could go Gabranth, which is going to help the brave damage down for the party. But with her Holy Knight Safeguard, like, it's almost going to be irrelevant, because you're not going to be able to die with Holy Knight Safeguard up, right? So I figured I'd go the more offensive route and put the Brave Gain Sphere on. And then D slot, you want Hope or Cisne. Hope or Cisne to me are both equally good because Beatrix is a big time buffer character. Like, she throws down a ton of buffs, so Hope is really easy to trigger, but she's also going to be able to deal crit damage fairly easily as well, so Cisne is also an easy trigger, and they're both attack and max brave for the party, so I'd say definitely do Cisne or Hope on the D slot. I think those are best in slot there. So anyways, guys, with that, we're going to hop into the showcase. Once again, Beatrix fully decked out, fully maxed out, and also has red crystal room backing her. And my red crystal room is 37 out of 90 nodes, so I have put quite a few nodes into that, so she's got some extra stats. So we will throw that down as a like, here's just so you guys can get like for reference, right? If you're looking at my screen right now, my red crystal room isn't even done, and just look at, well, okay, I guess they're boosted too, but no, they're not boosted in this class. So yeah, look at Beatrix and Aerith have about 25,000 HP, and Garnet only has 15,000. So, like, that's just the HP stat alone. So, like, they're getting a lot of extra stats that Garnet isn't because I chose red. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's hop in. And we're just going to hop in and look at the kit. I don't need... Oh, Nick the Ninja, sure. We'll grab my boy Nick the Ninja. We'll grab your Aerith. I might use it for extra force charging. I probably won't need it, but we'll grab it. We'll grab it. If I recognize a boy from my Discord, I'll grab it. Oh, and guess what? Sorry, Nick. I went into the wrong fight. Of course, I knew I was going to do it. The dang Jekt fight. There's 2 fights on the island I go to, and it always starts me on the wrong one, and if I forget to switch it. So let's go ahead and switch it again. Go here. That's okay. We can just grab somebody else as well. So let's go ahead and grab here. All right. We'll just grab this Aerith right here. That's fine. All right, so let's hop in again for reals this time. And we're just going to take a look at Beatrix's kit. And I know a lot of you are familiar with Beatrix from the first character guide, but we're going to cover it all again. Just get everyone updated, right? All right, so with Beatrix here, let's go ahead. Because she opens with the EX, I would say let's start with it. So this is called Clim Hazard. Let's see what the damage looks like. Now, right now, we don't have any BT effects up or anything. Let's just see the damage on Clim Hazard here. All right, and we get Rose Petals, the follow-up. So I should probably explain that. So 1.5 mil with the Mill Splash. And with a character like Beatrix, we do count the follow-up damage as a part of her damage. So when I look at what she did there, I would say yes. She did 1.5 mil with the mill on the other enemy, because the idea of her kit is she's meant to get those follow-ups. The Rose Petal debuff, so let me just explain this because it's an important part of her kit. So as I said before, it does a sap and it does an attack down. And then as long as Beatrix is on the field, it is going to do a Thunder Imperil, so the enemies just start with that. It's going to do a defense down, brave damage taken up, and HP damage taken up. Now, the other way that this Rose Petals works is if Beatrix attacks an enemy with Rose Petals, you get the follow-up as we saw there. Your other characters, though, will not activate it. However, your characters are going to have another buff called Noble Loyalty. And this Noble Loyalty buff, if a character with that gets attacked by the enemy, it will also trigger her follow-up. So she can get it off turn by being attacked by the enemies, right? So Aerith, we're going to open with BT effect. And I think I do want to just get Raijin down. Although with Beatrix, we don't really need Raijin because she kind of like is her own Raijin in a way. It's kind of nice. So let's use Holy here. And then we'll do a couple of Garnet turns and then we'll be good to kind of keep going. There's part of me that wants to kind of do like a BT phase and show off her kit, but I think we are going to try to ramp and do like a Beatrix BT phase and see what kind of damage she can do on a BT phase, right? And we'll probably for sure finish the fight. Also notice how the enemies hit us for 1. That's coming in part due to like just Beatrix's tankiness, which we'll get to as we go through the kit. I don't want to like go through like all the buffs and debuffs at once. I kind of want to do it as I show you the attacks that give you those buffs and debuffs. But I did have to talk about the Noble Loyalty and the Rose Petals because they're just an integral part and they do start there, right? So Garnet, we're gonna BT effect you as well. We'll do the AA too. All right, and then another BT effect up, and then Beatrix should be looking a lot better here. Beatrix being kind of a tankier character too, like she is a little bit slow, which is good because of the way her Holy Knight Safeguard works, which I think is the next thing I'm going to show you. And then actually what I'll probably do is I probably will drop the BT effect down on the next turn. Let's just see here. Actually, I'm going to do BT effect now because I want to show you the Holy Knight Safeguard combo. So I think we will just get BT effect down now, and then we can kind of see like what her numbers are looking like, right? So notice her HP attack changed to Holy Knight Safeguard. This comes from the EX. So anytime you use the EX, you're going to get Holy Knight Safeguard. So to not waste it, try to use Holy Knight Safeguard before your EX is up again, okay? So yeah, let's go ahead, and I obviously haven't seen this yet. Let's pop the BT effect. This is called Roses of May. And I want to get this on early to show you how it interacts with Holy Knight Safeguard. And of course Steiner's there. Of course Steiner's there. Makes total sense. All I'm going to say is Steiner's one lucky SOB. We'll just put it that way. He's a pretty lucky guy to land someone like Beatrix. Alright, so it actually, I didn't get like a good HP number on that attack, but that's okay. Let's talk about the BT. So it did a big AoE attack. The burst effect is going to last 8 turns. The big thing is her own buffs do not tick down. And that's important because Holy Knight Safeguard is a buff with a very low turn duration, but now it's not going to tick down. It is also going to Lightning Enchant, Brave gains up, Brave damage limit up, HP damage up, and HP damage limit up. So general BT buffs with the Lightning Enchant, and then her buffs do not tick down. So Garnet, sure, we'll just drop an LD, that's fine. And then Aerith, I think we are going to ramp a bit so we can get her overhead going. We definitely want to get that going. What I love about Aerith too is because her BT effect doesn't have a turn duration, you can get it on right away, and then you can like spam like this and not worry about her BT going down. It's so nice. So nice. We just got to make sure that in the ramping, we aren't just like killing these guys with all the off turn we have. That's okay though. So let's Healing Wind again. I'm kind of thinking we might just take this to the house. We might. I kind of want to get some Beatrix going here. Let's do this. All right, we won't go all the way. We'll just stop there and then we'll pass turn because I don't think I'm ready to do FR like yet. But I did kind of want to get the enemies to be breakable so we can at least push Garnet up a little bit here. Looks good. Oof. Yeah, that was almost 2 mil AoE, dude. Dude, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have done this team comp for the showcase. We're doing so much off turn. We're just burning them down. All right, so we got to go light here. Let's just do an Aquamarine. All right, and then let's get Beatrix Holy Knight Safeguard up. Okay. All right, so we're going to use the special HP attack. So this is Holy Knight Safeguard. It's not going to do a lot of damage, but we will get Rose Petals with it, which is good. Okay, I mean, what was that? Was that 1.8? That might have been 1.8. And then we're getting a bunch of follow-up here. All right, so now you're going to notice that Beatrix has a 2-turn buff on. So we're going to see right here. And it is instant turn rate, by the way. So this is called Holy Knight Safeguard, right? So it's a 2-turn buff, but you want to think of it as a 1-turn buff. Because when she uses Holy Knight Safeguard, she gets an instant turn. So now this next attack would lower it by 1. But we have the BT effect up, which means this will not decrease. This Holy Knight Safeguard does HP damage taken minus 100%. Basically means you always take 0 HP damage no matter what. And you cannot extend the buff, but if the buff doesn't decrease, that's not necessarily extending it, right? So the BT effect gets around that. So you're basically invincible while that's up. And Beatrix is so good at helping you through tough content with that, right? Let's go ahead. Let's do Saint Cloth next. This is kind of like just her nice battery attack. So it's going to do a really nice battery to the party and then attack. Single target. But we get the Rose Petals, which will add splash. Dude, that was 3 million. 2.8. My eyes do not deceive me. We just pressed her, her 15? Saint Cloth, and we did almost 3 million. That was actually very impressive, dude. Now keep in mind, dude, this is crystal buffed, but this is also a 3-month early character, so the numbers are actually like kind of high. So it did the battery, the attack, and then it's just an HP regen and a defense up for the party. I'm thinking we may have to get into a burst phase quick because these enemies are melting away before my eyes. They are melting away before my eyes to the point that I'm just going to Brave Attack. Oh, the Brave Attack still did damage. Or actually, that might have been the HP plus, my bad. Alright, Aerith doesn't really need to do anything. Sure, we'll just Fury Brand. Alright, so Beatrix's next turn. What? So we still need to see the LD, and we still need to see the 35. I am kind of curious to see them not under Force time, but I think we're going to go into Force. I think we're going to go into Force right now. I feel like it's time. Oh, by the way, I need to mention with Rose Petals, what's so good about the Rose Petals follow-up that you're seeing there, and that was a good example, right? When we get hit, it triggered the Rose Petals because we have Noble Loyalty up. And when they have the debuff, as long as Beatrix attacks them, they're going to take it. The one thing about Rose Petals is it ignores defense and it dispels buffs off the enemies. Ridiculously good. Yeah, I do kind of feel like I want to get into FR right now. So let's go ahead and pop FR. Because I don't want them to actually get their Force time. Pairing up with Snow. By the way, on Tonberry Troop, for all the character guides, they list like strengths and weaknesses. And one of her weaknesses, they said, was having Snow as an FR partner, which is kind of funny. Oh, it's pretty funny. All right, so let's talk about the FR. So the FR is dedicated with Knight's Pride. It removes all enemy buffs, so it's a huge dispel. Big Thunder AoE attack. Party gets an HP regen and a defense up. Party HP and damage limit will be up as long as you have 12 or more buffs, so you do want to keep a lot of buffs up on the party. For the HP damage condition, if the party turn passes with 12 or more buffs, you get a 40% bump. And then any lightning damage is 5%. And I think off turn counts with that. And then 20% for Beatrix. And Beatrix's FR is actually really nice. And I think we're going to see it when Aerith echoes. Because her first part, right, is your turn passes with 12 or more buffs. So someone like Aerith can echo, doing a non-damaging attack. She's going to get the 40 plus the 80. This should be like 120 to 130% gain on an Aerith Echo. So we definitely need to see that, right? So we're going to go crazy. It's probably going to be overkill, but we are going to start echoing. So let's echo with Garnet. And my goal is just to get into a BT phase before they die, and then I can kind of go crazy, and at least one of the enemies will be alive, right? I'm thinking we might need to do a Beatrix damage test this week. I think we might. I'm kind of impressed with the damage I'm seeing here. We might have to do a damage test, like I did for Yuffie and like I did for Rex. All right, here's a Rose Petals counterattack. And here's the thing, dude. It scales with FR, so that was 2 mil on just the counterattack. Right? Dude, this team is actually like team off turn. We're doing a lot of off turn with this team. All right. Watch the echo here. I'm expecting 120% plus because we definitely have enough buffs on the team. All right, let's see what we got here. Free instant turn. I'm expecting at least 120 on this. What do we got? Yeah, 123. Exactly what I was expecting. Very good gains. Very good gains. It's not as good as Leonora's gains, but it's good gains for the state our game is in right now. It's no 600% on one turn like Leonora, but I digress. We're already up to like 500%. We haven't even used the force turn. This is where things get ridiculous, right? I'll just do an HP attack because these guys are going to die really quick. Yeah, and then I'm already feeling that Beatrix needs to get into burst phase because these enemies are melting. It's like these enemies are snowmen sitting in the hot sun in mid-August. They're just, yeah, look at how quick they're melting away, dude. This team's crazy. Like I said, I have red boosted characters here doing crazy things. So yeah, let's go into burst phase. We better do it before they die. All right, well, let's show off the LD. This is called Shock. At 500%, how good is Shock? AoE damage, Rose Petals coming up. Okay, 14 mil with about 10 on the other enemy. Pretty good for 500%. So Shock, the LD, it does remove all enemy buffs, so a lot of dispelling. Very good. Party Battery ignores defense. HP regen up, and then this is the main way to apply Rose Petals. This is where Rose Petals comes from, but they do get it at turn start. And then the Rose Petals, I already explained, will do the off-turn damage, which is really, really nice. So the LD, the main thing with that is you want to refresh Rose Petals, right? Now let's go ahead and let's do the 35 Thunder Slash. We haven't done that yet. Oof. Heavy damage with the Rose Petals. So we just did 16 mil there, all right. So Thunder Slash, as long as you have 9 or more buffs, you get the plus version. Big AoE attack, Party Battery, and then this is where you get Noble Loyalty. So the 35, Noble Loyalty and Rose Petals are the two important things. So Rose Petals comes from the LD, and that's the main debuff you want. Noble Loyalty is the main buff you want from Thunder Slash. So you do want to make sure you press Thunder Slash. And Thunder Slash, I would say, is her main filler attack anyways. St. Cloth is nice to get the battery when you want it. But I think Thunder Slash is going to be the more damaging attack, right? And then we already saw Clim Hazard, so we'll hit that again. At 600%, Clim Hazard with a Rose Petal. 17 mil. Yeah, her damage is looking really nice. And this is without, like, launching, right? So if we do a damage test with 3 enemies, I'm actually kind of curious. We might have to do that this week. Here comes the Holy Knight Safeguard, so that's going to refresh that. It's going to stay at 2 turns. We actually timed it pretty well because her BT effect is at 1 turn. So then we saved it so that she's going to come out and keep the Holy Knight Safeguard up, right? All right, and then we can Saint Cloth for battery. We can see our HP regen work a little bit because this this fight is poisoning us, so we can see us gain a little bit HP on our turns. Yep, there we go. Now, you notice that Beatrix is only getting 68%, which isn't crazy, but remember, I believe she can get this off turn, right? So if we're actually active with the enemies attacking, I think you can do some insane things with her force time. Yeah, this is last turn, so let's go ahead and do the force attack. So at 845, I'm curious what her force damage is here, because this might help me gauge like what her damage test might look like. How much damage is this? Without launching, yeah, I was kind of thinking she was going to be in like the 25 to 30 mil range. She did about 26 mil right there. I think she is going to have very competitive damage for all the utility she's got. And her ability to tank and like make the party safe is so good, actually. So there you go, guys. We'll finish on the Steiner Beatrix combo, but I think she's looking really good. I think she is definitely an excellent character to invest in. She's going to have a lot of longevity because of her utility. She's not just reliant on damage. Off-turn age as well, right? The battery and healing age well. Basically her tanking is going to age incredibly well. Like, she's got a lot of things to really like. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think of my girl Beatrix. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.